Hello and welcome to week 15 in research methods. This is it. We're coming down to this is the last topic that we are going to be discussing. Of course, the class continues into the week after this one. Tie things up, get your assignments ready and whatnot. There's still time to get these things done. People have submitted stuff over break, and that's really great. I'm going to get to be grading those today. Excuse me. Today, however, we're taking a little bit of a detour from what we've been talking about so far, and we're going to be going into a chapter that is new to this particular course, taking some time to talk about qualitative work. Now, qualitative, quantitative are two of the major areas of research methods. Qualitative has been around for as long as psychology. In fact, the first real psychological insights came from qualitative research. People just, being introspective about their own psychological experiences, very qualitative in perspective. But then science comes along, makes the demand for data, statistics, show me the money sort of perspective, and quantitative studies truly do dominate the world of all science. That doesn't mean that qualitative work is gone, doesn't mean that it's not valuable. It means that it's different. Now, qualitative work focuses on methodologies that focus on, hence the name, the quality of particular psychological experiences, the individualness of an experience, the description, the description that the individual comes up with, the gathering of people together to have a discussion and summarizing the sort of sense or themes that came out of that kind of discussion. It's a very, very different methodology, but it opens up a huge treasure trove of data for describing particular experiences and whatnot. So for this chapter, I mention and I provide a link to a study that was done on a qualitative study done on the experience of people who own dogs. And so I want you to read that study and then comment on that study in the discussion and add what you would have added if you were part of that particular study. What would you have contributed to that? That's important that all of you participate in this discussion because it's required and it's graded. There's that. But in the assignment is going to relate to this discussion. So you're putting in input into this discussion. You're both responding to the content of the actual article and contributing as if you were part of that discussion, part of that study. We'll come back to that in a minute. There's a chapter, the chapter quiz asks you to look at your current study that you've been developing through this semester. Most of you, if not, I know there's a couple, but most of you are doing quantitative research where there's numerical data that you're going to be collecting. What I want you to do in this quiz is I want you to imagine what if I got my data on that and I wanted to follow up with one of the qualitative methods that are mentioned in the chapter. What would that look like? How would I do that? And what kind of information would I gather from that? How would that build upon what I've collected quantitatively? And now I'm looking at it qualitatively. This is not uncommon. It's very common for individuals to do one and then the other. Sometimes we start with qualitative and then we get some data points and then we measure those data points. Sometimes we start with quantitative and we get data points and then we go deep into the experience of those particular phenomenon. So the quiz asks you to look at how would you follow up on your current study to do it qualitatively. If you are doing a qualitative study, I want you to do the opposite for this quiz. I want you to think about your qualitative study And based on the kind of information that you're gathering, how might you turn this into a quantitative study? So that's the quiz. Get to the assignment. What the assignment is going to have you do is to do essentially a very small qualitative study of discussion chapter 14. After this week, don't do this assignment until the end of this week. In fact, you don't do it till next week, because I'm going to grade the discussion. Chapter 14 discussion, I'll grade that next Monday. At that point, you're going to start chapter 14 assignment, where each one of you is going to go through the entire discussion that we have here on this topic. And I want you to do a text analysis on that. Now, the way that comes out, let's look in the course book here. You have the chapter 14 assignment. We're going to do a thematic analysis of the chapter 14 discussion. So, look up thematic analysis. What does that mean? Draw conclusions about the document content through the thematic analysis. So you're going to have a title page. You're going to do some quantitative data gathering here, the number of postings, the people that posted, the number of posts per person, creating a table like that. This is all public information within this class, so there's no problem using names and whatnot. Then you're going to talk about the different themes that arise in the discussion and draw conclusions about the class. So those two pieces right there are, you're looking at quantitative and qualitative analysis of our discussion that we have in this class. So that's your target, and you're going to be doing a discussion on that. That will be due at the end of next week. So you have all of next week to do that. I encourage you to take notes. You're going to be participating in the discussion. Take notes while the discussion is going on. What are you seeing and all that stuff? And then you're going to summarize that in terms of the assignment, which will be due next week. Now, at this point, we're looking at the class is coming to an end. This is the last content. This is the last one of these videos that I'm going to be posting. There's no video for next week. So what's left for many of you is completing your proposal document. Some people are pretty behind. Some people are almost done. That's fine. This is a dig in. Let's get these things done. Now, here is what's going to happen. The course is going to come to an end, and some of you, almost guaranteed, will still be in the process of completing your proposal. I want to help you to complete that proposal. It's always rough to do this within a semester. We're still going to do it. So here's how this is going to work. For those of you who are going to complete your proposal, everything is great. Your grade goes in. That's fine. Take the Christmas break off. See you in the statistics. For many of you, however, there's going to still be some work that we need to do. I am going to be submitting, for you individuals who still have work to do, when it comes to me submitting grades, I'm going to submit an incomplete. That incomplete will apply only, not any other assignment. It's going to apply specifically to that proposal assignment. You and I can then continue to work on that. The due date for that is prior to statistics. It needs to be ready for statistics. So I will continue to work with you. I will continue to make sure that you have access to the class. You will be able to continue working on that particular assignment. Your grade will hang there kind of waiting as an incomplete. The time that drops off is when the next semester begins. So you have quite a bit of time. I don't want you to take all that time. I'm supposed to be on vacation. Okay, so let's continue to work. I don't want you to freak out. Don't want you to like, I'm failing the class, whatever. Let's work together. Let's make this happen. I know people are starting to, to wake up and get really involved in this thing. Let's get it done. You have until the beginning of the next semester. I really praise those of you who have been working diligently on this. Very, very good. Let's get everybody caught up so that next semester we're good to go. Now, next semester, sadly, I did put in for there to be a face-to-face class. There's 4 students in that class. I was doing it as a directed study. That class never made it to the registrar, never made it on the schedule, so nobody signed up for it. And so next semester, all of you, including those 4 people, are going to be in the online version of this class. What I'm going to do, however, is I had already set aside the time on Thursday from 1 until 4 for me to be teaching statistics. What I would like to do is to offer the entire class next semester the opportunity, if you can make it to campus on Thursday at 1:30 in the spring semester, I will be there. That's when I'm actually going to use that time to kind of really focus on grading and keeping up with that. I know I've been a little lax on that sometimes, but I'm going to be using that time to really kind of double down on making sure the communication is good. But it is also an opportunity for any one of you to come into the class and ask questions about this project and how it relates to statistics and the content of the statistics class. So there we are. That's what we have for this week. Again, this is the last of these videos. We have chapter 14, the last chapter to take care of. You have to do that analysis to get some qualitative experience here. Do you want to say it's been a really great semester, even though there's been some struggles with getting that proposal done? The learning that's going on is amazing. So I have to tell you that even though you may personally feel like it's been it has been a struggle, I am extremely enthusiastic about what we're looking at next semester. So thank you for that. So that's been a really, really good experience for that. So let's take this ending of the semester here, get this last chapter done. We have next week within the normal time frame to get everything done. Then grades get submitted, and then we go into overtime. And let's make sure that everybody gets those proposals done. So I'll be continuing to work with you, even though the semester has ended and grades have been submitted. Those of you who don't have that proposal done yet will have it incomplete, and you'll have to clear that out by submitting the proposal. The way that policy, the way that policy works, if you don't get it done, it actually reverts to an F. It doesn't revert to what your grade would have been without that assignment. That's the catch of incompletes. So it's important that you get that final project done in some manner so that the grade doesn't revert to an F, so that you still get credit for all the other work that you've done. So it's very important that you get that final project done. It's important in terms of the sequence of what we're doing in terms of moving from this class to next. The beginning of the next class is really, we're going to focus on scheduling these things. We don't want to flood KVCC's emails with all of these studies at the same time. And I want to be able to, I'm personally going to take a step back and see how we can map these out over time to enable you to get good data from our ready-made population here. And so I'll be working with each one of you at the beginning of the semester to see the timing for your particular study as to when your data collection is going to start, stop, and then when you're going to set the due date as to when you get everything done. Kind of a unique approach to that final assignment next semester. So it's been a pleasure. Get in touch with me with any barriers that you're experiencing here. Let's finish strong. We have this one chapter, the stuff for this chapter, and then finishing up the proposal assignments. I wish you well this week. Good luck with everything, and I will see you later.